feel like you're among friends, you can talk to them. It's not like talking to a stranger. Couldn't ask to be treated no better. They come out, they talk to you, they don't act like they somebody uppity trying to hand out stuff. They talk to you like family. And that's something I appreciate because they respect me, I respect them. It's very important because I'm on disability and what I get from them, I use every bit of it. Every now and then, if there's anybody in need, I tell them, "Well, come to my house and I'll give you some of what I got. I'll share it with you."
I've been here several times. I enjoy coming. It make all the world difference because if you're short at home, it fills gap where you're short at.
You're listening to Hope and Uncertainty, Real Neighbors, Real Stories, Real Change. A podcast by Common Heart, sharing hope where it's needed most.
Welcome everyone back to Hope and Uncertainty, where we share stories of resilience, kindness, and community from the heart of Common Heart. I'm Elizabeth Carpenton.
And I'm Keith Adams. Thanks for joining us today as we explore what it means to be a neighbor in these uncertain times.
Today, we are so grateful to be joined by someone who lives that out week after week, Soundra Umesh, one of our incredible volunteers who serves at our evening food pantries and has been for 4 years. Mm-hmm. Amazing. She is the friendly face that so many guests see when they first arrive to our pantry. So welcome, Soundra.
Welcome, Soundra.
Thank you.
So how you've been with us for 4 years, how did you get connected to Common Heart?
So I really saw a pamphlet there. I mean, the stuff started set up on the street about Common Heart, and one day we walked in, and me and my kids, we have been always looking for something to do, something nearby. We used to go far away places, and then we're like, something just nearby in the community, let's go in. Yeah. And that's how we really started. There's nobody inviting us or anything, but then we landed up there.
So you just saw the sign sitting on the side of the
street there.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Wow. How was it to get started there? Did you fit right in, or did you
my God, yes. So me and my kids walked in, and literally after 2 hours, you'd have thought we have been already being there for years together. the whole volunteer community was all over us, friendly and everything. So we just fit in the first day, actually.
Well, that's what folks that are folks like that are drawn to serve together, and so
true.
It's cool. It's cool to find other common-hearted people.
True. Yes. Now, when you showed up, did you just get assigned to check in, or did you choose that job?
No. So in those days, this was pre-COVID. So we used to have set up on the table, and then people would come in. So we used to do the setup and then wait for people coming in, help them as needed and such. But after that, after COVID, we started having the cars pass by. I literally used to be the joker, like anything is available, I would do, right? You need to do this today, or if I see something's not going on, I'll do that. I'll even fold the cardboard boxes, so that we are done and got out of there early. So anything and everything. And then whenever they wanted me to check in, I used to do that too. But I used to get frustrated with those paper check-ins. Mm-hmm. So when we got into this SAP stuff, I think it was SAP, I was like, yeah, let me try that today. And it was overwhelming for most of the people. It's like, how are we going to do this? I'm like, okay, let me try it. I'll jump in. So I started, and then I got stuck with that and I like it. 1.5 years now. I like it though. I realized I like talking to people. So that was perfect.
Well,
yeah.
That's pretty cool how the technology piece, because we started using those tablets, is what you're saying. That scared some people off, but you went right for it.
Yeah, I was like,
and it kind of became a vehicle that you would end up interacting with folks.
Yes.
And so you're right there at the start when folks come in, checking people in, hearing bits of information and their stories. What is it that you like about what you do?
So it really gives me the first glance into somebody to welcome there, in the sense sometimes there are various kinds of people who come there. Some are embarrassed, some are like coming in neutral, thinking, how am I going to be treated? Mm-hmm. So just to make them feel that I don't care who you are, where you come from, I don't need your ID, I just need this information. feels really good. And then week after week, I meet them. So
Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool.
So you said some people, maybe it's their first time and they feel a little nervous or embarrassed. What have you noticed about, how people feel when they come in, what they're, carrying beyond just being hungry, what kind of stress maybe they're dealing with?
so many times it is I don't have job or I lost my job. I have had people who say they lost somebody too. And I've also had people who would say, I would be serving three, four. And now, by now I know them, so sometimes I would say, "Oh, it's your third person," and they would pass out. So it's all that comes to me. Sometimes it feels low, but it's nice to talk to them, smile at them, and say, "Hey, it's going to be fine. Move on."
Well, and I'm sure for the folks that you see regularly, it's comforting for them to see a familiar face and
Yes.
somebody who remembers them and is asking about their family, and that.
Yeah, when they
That's
opened the
valuable.
new one in Ray Road, they were like, "Are you going to come there?"
Yeah, it's funny. I remember hearing, geez, it was about a year ago now that over at our Wingate pantry, somebody drove all the way from Rock Hill to that pantry, and they drove there just because they had heard that the people were kind. Do you feel that the way you guys interact with folks brings people back and they appreciate that?
Absolutely, like particularly as I said, for the railroad is the near the how do I say the current one, right, where it changed. When we tell them, "Do you want to go there?" They would be like, "No, we like it here." But I know people started moving there for various reasons. But yeah, absolutely, people want to see the same face, feel comfortable because they're the same people asking similar questions.
Yeah, yeah. One of the challenges that we're right now beginning to feel is we got notified that we are going to be losing half of the food that we get from TFAP. And as you know, that TFAP food, the commodity food that we get from the government, serves as the base of that pantry. And if we were to lose the entire 50% of that, that would be really challenging. But I know because you told me you were here last time we had a shortage of food.
Mm-hmm.
How does that impact people that you're serving there?
So the first time people don't get it, like, it doesn't sink in. They are getting lesser food. But the next time they come in, they are pretty sad. And they do sometimes start off with that conversation saying, "Sandra, we're still not having food this time." And I have to be like, "Let the truck come, we'll figure it out. Whatever we can give you." It does get really sad.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot for you to hold as a volunteer, and it's hard because you're just the messenger, right? But
Yes.
but you're the one sharing that news with folks, and then I know, particularly before we opened the St. Margaret's Pantry, and even now, y'all were seeing so many people at Union that folks were having to be turned away. How did it feel for you to have to tell folks that we didn't have enough?
It's the worst. It's the worst to go and tell somebody, particularly if they've come in on time, right? And then go and say, "We don't have food for you today, you have to go," right? That's like really bad. Then you have people who are on the line, and then we have to say there's lesser food. It gets like worse by the minute. So it's very sad.
That's got to be really challenging for you as a volunteer. I know, I don't know if we had this experience. I'd hope we wouldn't, but I think about you. That didn't stop you from coming.
No.
You kept coming, and even though you were dealing with very hard things, why did you keep coming?
Mm-hmm. So I think the basic baseline is want to give back to the community, right? Whether myself as a child or my children, community has helped. By not coming, you're just actually running away from the reality. So going back and just doing what I can and what we can, I think is just fulfilling. It's basic.
Even when the conversations are
It's
tough.
negative. Oh, yeah, I've had some tough conversations.
I bet you have.
Oh God. Well, and I mean, I was going to ask, how do you keep the experience warm and dignified? You are a very warm person. I don't think I could be that sad talking to you. But how do you encourage neighbors you interact with when you do run out of food or running low or they're waiting for a really long time?
So it's, I guess, just a smile and, come next time for sure. Come a little bit earlier, particularly if somebody's coming at 6:30 or so, it becomes late, and then it's like, come a little earlier, maybe, it'll be better for you. Like, just give them another, I don't want to say hope, but another idea of better sometimes just helps. But yeah, if the food is less, I don't know what I should say. I just tell them, hey, unfortunately, we don't have much today.
Well, last time had the shortage, Second Harvest came in and reallocated the food. We were not getting enough food, and we brought that to their attention. And they did that. This time, we need different kind of help to probably make it, and it's going to probably be coming right from our own community, from people who are stepping up and serving and stuff like that. And one of the things I really like about the Union Pantry we're at is that they are really good at getting the word out that they need food.
Donations.
And so community will bring the food directly to them.
Yes.
When you see, I mean, because I know they do it right there at that well-like thing. When you come in and you see that food sitting there that they collected, how does that make you feel?
Oh, my eyes pop up. Seriously pop up. Like, oh wow, that's great. And many times we actually replenish what you guys provide with just that. Like,
That's
literally,
amazing.
those are the bags we give off on that particular day. So we do try to immediately take it down, and I will fuss up. Sometimes I see some things and I'm like, this person likes this, I'm going to pick it up. Seriously.
But that, no, I mean,
Likes or
we'll
needs or
accept
whatever.
your admission. But I think that's one of those things that helps people feel seen and valued, and you know them, and you've taken the time to remember that they like a
Yeah,
specific
I
thing.
go around and say, pick this up. So people tell me too, right? It's like, Sandra, if you
Yeah.
see this, let us know. And then after 2 weeks, it's like that person was asking something. So.
Wow, that's pretty
I really
cool.
love that.
So, have there been moments that you've had that have kind of stuck with you, that have really made an impact on you or your children? How old are your children, by the way?
Oh, 22 now.
Are they still coming out?
No, so they're in the college, so
Okay.
university, they just graduated. So
Yeah.
if they come home, they totally come there.
Yeah.
So even for their breaks.
That's
Oh,
pretty
They
fun.
just,
cool.
yeah,
That's
they do.
awesome.
But has there been a time or a situation that really stuck with you, maybe, or with your kids from your time volunteering over
So
there?
the one for me usually is when kids come with the parents, and then the parents can't speak the language, but the kids help me with my check-in. I don't think I feel sad about it. I feel very nice about it. I feel, wow, this is what the children should be doing, right? This is what they should be helping their kids with. That really helps me fulfill it. My kids, they have told me a couple of things, like when somebody came along and told them that he lost job and so he's coming here for a few more months and such. It helped them to think through and process that. So I think that's helping them even today to go serve in wherever they are.
That's one of the things that I've heard from many different volunteers of the impact on their children when they come in to volunteer. I remember hearing one story of a volunteer who did it because they wanted to impact their children, and instead their children taught them something about being judgmental in that particular situation.
That's cute.
So it kind of goes every way. You learn something,
Yeah,
you grow
totally.
something sticks with you.
No,
know?
totally.
Yeah. Well, and I think there's something too for kids who are in the car and they're coming as guests to the pantry, for them to see other kids serving. I mean, that again, I will come back to kids every single time, but the fact that we have kids of all ages serving alongside us, for them to see, it's not just adults, it's other kids just like me.
They used to have classmates come in.
Yeah.
So that impacted them.
Absolutely, because I think we can, especially, for those of us maybe who, here in Union County, maybe live on the western side of the county, or even into Mecklenburg, we're in kind of a bubble of what we think our neighbors' experience is, or what we, just what we, kind of assume, and you just never know what people are experiencing and what people are going
The
through.
other one thing that I really touched me, which I forgot earlier, is when once or twice, some of them, when they come in, as I said, they're embarrassed, but they also say, I hope I don't have to come back again. Like when I say,
Yeah.
we are registering you, no, they feel so bad. So I also feel bad for them. It's like, absolutely, I hope you get a job soon,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I know when I used to do work pantries a lot more, because I mean, I've been here since the beginning.
true.
Okay. And,
Yeah.
I mean, I've delivered groceries, I've opened pantries, and was always there interacting with folks. And one of the things that impact on me was getting to know people, and they become friends. And we always want the best for our friends.
True.
And that's kind of the experience. There's some people there that you kind of consider friends now that you really want to see doing well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm happy sometimes that they're not here. Like I have one lady, I don't want to say them in the country, but she used to be very friendly. She used to start saying, "Can I help you?" So she used to come out and help us. And then she disappeared. And I was like, "Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? Where is she?" And I found her in one of the box stores. And she came running and she's doing well. And I'm like, oh my God. So every time we meet up, to your point, right? It's like, I'm so happy to see she's not coming to an extent, right? I don't want her to come. But yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, one of the things that I'm sure you've seen are Getting Ahead volunteers coming there recruiting people to go to the Getting Ahead
I've
thing.
seen, yeah.
Yeah, and that whole thing came out of the idea that we were serving these people in these pantries and became friends, and we wanted more for them and better for them. We wanted them to see their dreams take place, and so we added that piece where we folks that graduate from our program that helps them get ahead come there and recruit, and we've had a really good response from the folks there because I think it provides a sense of hope in the midst of instability, in the midst of troubles, in the midst of not knowing and uncertainty. And matter of fact, that's a key thought process for us. We want to be on both sides. So before we go, is there anything else you would like to share?
I will say it's been 4 years. It just feels like yesterday, and I like to keep going. And yes, I do the registration and I like talking to people, but anytime, anything I'm ready to do. And that helps me too. It just feels like I passed my time well instead of sitting and saying something.
What would you say? So if somebody if somebody was like, I think I want to volunteer, but I'm just not sure, or maybe they're on the fence about volunteering or donating or get involved with Common Heart, what would you say to that
Try it
person?
out. Come with me, try it out. Unless you have a particular reason. I mean, sometimes these are just excuses. So it's like, try it out.
Yeah. Volunteering provides something beneficial to you, right?
Absolutely. That's like, I mean, I feel bad saying this, but it feels fulfilled. It feels nice, It feels like, okay, at least as I said a minute back, it's like, I'm spending my time well on Thursday evenings. So,
well, and that we're meant to be in community, giving and sharing with each other, so of course that feels good. And of course it's, fulfilling. So I think that, there's a lot of truth to when you give back and you give your time, that it does make you feel really good, because that's how we're supposed to be in community with each other.
You live around here, right?
Yep, in Waxhaw, just 1 mile from that church.
Yeah,
wow.
You live right there near Waxhaw, but if I remember correctly, you work in downtown Charlotte.
Uptown, yes.
Or uptown. Sorry, forgive me. It's not downtown. It's uptown.
How long have you lived here?
Long enough to know better. So many people I've seen in the western side of the county, Waxhaw, Weddington, Marvin, that have a little bit more affluent lifestyle than other people that are coming. That definitely people are coming to this pantry, and when they think about serving people or giving, they usually turn away from their immediate neighbors and their immediate community and turn towards Charlotte. Okay, but you didn't do that. You stayed right here in your community. Why?
I feel like you should give to the nearest, right? There are some people who go out of the country too, and I feel like we have so many neighbors, seen so many times. It's like, why am I going far away? Again, I want to help everybody, but I think it is just I feel like it is grassroots. It needs to be where you are, where you're running away. I know it feels raw, but that's my feeling. Like, well, again, I went to Charlotte, and then when I found I could do something here, I'm like, I'm going to go here, not there.
Yeah, I always thought about the fact that, where you live, where your kids go to school, where you pay taxes, that's where your community
Yeah,
is.
that's right.
And those are the people that we're called to love. Those are our neighbors. Now, we're supposed to call everybody, truthfully. There's not a
Yeah.
measure you love these people
True,
first.
true, yeah.
We love everybody, okay?
Yeah.
But it's harder to ignore people if you see them, okay? And by going in, and therefore it's harder to, you can't stay in your bubble. I sometimes wonder if that's the reason why some people don't volunteer local, because we think everybody's like us, has the same experience. But there are people, in Marvin, that live in Marvin, for instance, and in Waxhaw, that are experiencing hunger and food insecurity.
Yeah.
And you get to see those people. So I think sometimes that's also a scary thing too. About it changes the way you look at your community a little bit. So anyhow, we're not here to talk about my ideas and thoughts, but we are here to
That's
say
good idea, yeah.
thank you so much.
No, sure.
Thank you so much for being a big part of this Small Ocean of Kindness.
Sure.
Yeah,
Thank you for inviting me. Absolutely.
yeah,
It's nice
it's volunteers like you that are making this small revolution of kindness possible. Particularly, I mean, I think check-in is probably, I'm sure all jobs are valuable, all the roles are valuable, but you have a really important role in the pantry and in making people feel seen and valued, and your energy is just so lovely. I'm just like, oh gosh, I can't, like, I'm a smiley person anyways, but like I just want to be, I'm just so happy when I'm talking to you. And
Sure,
and-
absolutely. I love that job. So
oh, well, that's wonderful. And if hopefully, if you're one of those people, maybe that's kind of been on the fence or thinking, I want to get involved, but I'm not quite sure what I want to do. We invite you to be a part of this work too, whether it's volunteering or donating or sharing stories, telling somebody about this podcast and saying, man, I heard about this amazing woman, Sandra, she's giving her time, sharing all these amazing things. Every little thing matters. Every single act, volunteering, donating, sharing stories, being in community, all those things add up and are really important.
So if like Elizabeth and I, you found a new hero here in Sandra,
oh my God.
and you want to join her as a volunteer in the Small Ocean Kindness, just visit commonheart.org. You can find out more about volunteering and to donate as well. And so that we just really encourage you to check out your opportunities and to be involved. This is a community that we are working together in, and we're called to live in this community and love our neighbors.
That's right. And if maybe doing check-in makes you nervous, don't worry, because we have lots of other opportunities for things you can do. If you're like my husband, don't want to talk to a soul, we can stick you in the warehouse packing boxes and you'll be so happy.
Yep.
So there's truly something for everyone. So next week on Hope and Uncertainty, we are going to sit down with a graduate of our Getting Ahead program, which is really exciting. We just had big graduation.
Actually, the biggest one yet.
Biggest one ever, 11 graduates. Amazing. And we'll sit down with our Getting Ahead facilitator who walks with them through their investigations into poverty, and you'll get to hear a firsthand experience of what it's like to build a new future, step by step, with support, accountability, and community.
Yeah. So be sure to subscribe and share the podcast with someone who needs a little hope this week.
Yes. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you again,
Thank
Sandra.
you very
really,
much.
really appreciate you. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.